in a non-radioactive form. It is quite light, and it is one of the question marks that Mendeleev put. But of course, he didn't even know about radioactivity. And in fact, he called it also, I can give a broad hint, he called it Eka manganese. This one, a light element, which is hardly found. Can any student tell me the name of that element today and its atomic number? Atomic number I'll excuse. Can anybody tell me the name of that element? No looking at the phone. Tell me. What is it?
Is this potassium?
Potassium. Sorry, no. Potassium is, I can get potassium just like that. Tell me please. Huh?
Germanium.
Tell me again.
Germanium.
No, no. Only radioactive isotope. It's an artificial light element. Eka manganese he called it. Come on, he can't be cleverer than all of us. Huh? Chromium. How can you say that? Chromium is used for all this leather tanning industries and all that. Huh? Nobody? Tell me.
Samarium.
Huh?
Samarium.
Samarium, no. Samarium I mentioned, it's one of the rare earths. Very cheap rare earth element. Come on, tell me.
Technetium?
Huh?
Technetium?
Come here. Good. Come here. Huh? I said I don't want, come up. I said don't worry about the atomic number. I think it is 43 or something. I don't know. What's your name? Are you a student of chemistry or biology? Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Come. Technetium is the name of the element. And it has got 5, 6, 7 isotopes. All are radioactive. There is no non-radioactive isotope of technetium. And he called it Eka manganese. Mendeleev knew that there's something, but one thing he did, there was no radioactivity in his views. So tell me, what is the name? A. You want me to put your surname or no? No. How did you know about this technetium? Good. See, I tell you something, chemistry, biology also. It is full of remembering facts. There are lots of facts and you must remember the facts. I once had a project student from IIT Kanpur, many years ago. He came for a summer in Hyderabad. It was when I was in Hyderabad. And I asked him, one day just like fun, I had a feeling, no jibe intended, but I felt that the chemistry teaching in IIT Kanpur was too theoretical and not enough exposure to experimental science. And especially in chemistry and definitely in biology. Experiment is the core of the whole subject. Just doing some theoretical work and all, it's okay up to a point. Sorry, Mr. Datta. So I asked him one day briefly, I said, what's the color of copper sulfate? None of my questions are very innocent. So what's the color of copper sulfate? He started saying, sir, copper 4s2 3d. So I said, yes, that's correct. What is? He said, no sir, we can derive the color of copper sulfate from the electrons. I said, you and IIT Kanpur all need some good brain shrink. If this is what we are teaching our students, color of copper, color of potassium dichromate, you should know all these things. What is the smell of ammonia? You should know. I had a teacher in Illinois, Professor Margan, famous polymer chemist. He could identify 500 organic compounds from smell only. And he could identify another 500 organic compounds at least from smell, functional group only, not the molecule itself. So the smelling, tasting, seeing, all these things are very important. So when Avik remembers this thing from something, it's good. Because the more you are able to retain facts and absorb them and keep them till when you need them. Like today you are getting a free book because you kept the fact in your head, okay? Now read it. Read it and tell your friends, tell them to go and buy it. By the way, the first print of 1000 is sold out, so it's gone for reprinting again. So you see, it's not just my scientific books that are selling. So happy puja to all of you. Definitely. Those of you who know me well know that I love Calcutta and I like to keep coming again and again. I like your whole state a lot, which is why I take any chance to come over here. So when your director invited me to come, I said happily I will come. And I'm also going away before all the traffic jams of the puja and all the best in your course. Okay. And so that's about it. In just a little more than an hour, I guess, which is what you asked me to speak for. So thank you all very much. Very pleased to come here. I was glad I was able to talk to you. Now become curious about that book and because that first we have to know who we are. Slowly the Indians are beginning to realize who we are. So unless you get some facts and figures, and many people who have read this book, Mr. What's his name? Abhishek Banerjee, my mathematics colleague in Institute, who wrote a very nice review of my book in India Today. He said, Desiraju, after reading the book, it's very clear that only a scientist could have written it. And because it's a scientist's approach to the problem of the Constitution. And the amendments and the civilizational state and everything. What is this Hindutva? Why so much of gadbad is being created by this? What is this Hindu Rashtra? Do we even understand what we are talking about when we say all these things? And above all, for you young students and even faculty not so young, don't get your information second hand from social media, books, magazines. Don't get it from that. You try to read, like what you do in science, you do a literature search, no? I have written in my preface actually, don't even read the book, just read the reading list at the end of the book. You go and read yourself and you write your own book on the Constitution. That Constitution is not some holy thing that came from heaven or something. Some very ordinary people like you and me sat and wrote the Constitution. They were only the ordinary people who lived in extraordinary times. That's why we call them extraordinary today. The circumstance helped them, they all became heroes. Anybody can write a constitution. If I can write a book on the Constitution, so can you. Okay? Chalo. Yeah, why not? If there is time. One. Debatable questions are the best questions. Please ask.
So American people, if they are not that intuitive, how come every year, so almost 10 Nobel laureates from that country is also political?
See their infrastructure is very huge. And yesterday it was pointed out to me by somebody that they had an enormous influx of people from other countries. And they have never hesitated to bring all these people into their mainstream. So they have the advantage of many different kinds of thinking that are churning around in that country. And then, since their wealth is so great, the base is great. So in chemistry, for example, today in 4 days we will know who gets this Nobel Prize. they will maybe possibly see that in the whole world today there are about 50 people who could get the Nobel Prize in chemistry. Say about them, 40 of them are in America. So the chances that some American gets is very high. And it is not exactly true. I went to Budapest about 15 years ago, and when my host there showed me a map of Budapest city itself, and he had little flags and things in 28 places. He says these are the 28 high schools in Budapest where a Nobel laureate studied. 28 in a small place in Central Europe. And then he also added, sadly not one of them is in Hungary. Starting with the great Wigner, who got the Nobel Prize in Physics, and so many other people. So you can get people anywhere. Roald Hoffman always says, a great chemist could be born in Bulgaria, but the problem is he doesn't have an ecosystem of peers, friends, people to talk to. The whole scientific ecosystem should be good. See, when you go and sit and chat with your friend, I'm not saying to be boring or something. Tomorrow go and sit and tear up my lecture to bits. That should be the conversation that you are having. But this guy came from Bangalore and he's talking all nonsense. Don't please discuss that will the TMC get this or that some constituency, some Midnapur, what will happen. That is not the main thing. It is not at all the main thing. TMC will come today, BJP will go tomorrow. That doesn't concern us. Doesn't concern us at all. Don't get so much agitated in all these things. But try to see, you people are in the intellectual, former intellectual capital of India. Today it's not. But something you all had here, no? At least try to get a bit of it back. I think that is responsibility for all you young people. Chalo, next question. No question. Read the book and then send me an email. Tell me about periodic table also. Tell me anything that you all want. I am very accessible by email and I am perfectly willing to answer questions. Chalo.
So thank you very much for your excellent talk. Please, once again we are clapping big hand to Dr. Kiran for wonderful talk. And actually, his lecture will keep you all thinking all the time and read the book. We will also read the book. Thank you very much, sir.